Maude E. Callen was born November 8, 1898 in Quincy, Florida. One of 13 sisters who was born to Harrison and Amanda Daniel, she was orphaned at the age of 6. Her uncle, Dr. William J. Gunn, the first black physician in Tallahassee, Florida, took her in and raised her. Often, he would allow her to help with his patients, and this is where she would get her inspiration to go into the nursing field. She was educated at the St. Michael's and All Angels parochial schools and studied at the Georgia Infirmary in Savannah, one of the first hospitals to train black nurses. She received nurse and midwife training, attaining a nursing degree from the Tuskegee Institute. She also attended Florida and A&M University. After graduating, she married her husband, William Dewar Callen, and in 1923, she was offered a position as temporary medical missionary at a church in Pineville, Berkeley County, South Carolina. She and her husband decided to move there, but Pineville was not like Florida. It was a remote place surrounded by plantations. The residents, many of whom were former slaves, lived in tar shacks lit by oil lamps with no electricity at the edge of Hellhole Swamp, a large still body of water surrounded by flies and mosquitoes. Hellhole Swamp was a place of immense poverty and desolation. The residents could not afford basic necessities such as food, clothing, and medical care. They had no telephones, cars, trains, or buses. They had to travel by wagon or buggy to the nearest town, which was 10 miles away. The closest hospital was miles away in Moncks Corner, the county seat, but doctors refused to travel to Hellhole Swamp. Callen understood the urgent need of a forgotten people. She then opened a clinic out of her own home miles from any hospital. There she cared for the sick, performed yearly checkups, and delivered babies. She then made the decision to go directly to the residents of Hellhole Swamp, which was not easy being that it was hard to get to. It was 400 square miles of thick brush and trees crossed with muddy roads. Once the road ended, she would have to walk the rest of the way, carrying her bag, trekking through branches and brambles to reach the residents. It was said that she drove 36,000 miles a year making visits to residents. The residents called her the Angel in Twilight because the lamp she carried would break through the darkness of the forest. On her regular visits to Hellhole, she fed residents, gave out clothing, taught them how to read and write, and taught the women pre- and postnatal care. She literally served as a doctor, dietitian, psychologist, and bellgoer to the community. She often worked 16-hour days, earning about $225 a month. In 1951, Life magazine sent W. Eugene Smith, a world-renowned photojournalist, to document Callen. He spent 6 weeks observing her in action. Pictured here, an elderly man is moved to tears because of the tender kindness Maude had treated him with. Eugene Smith soon developed a respect and reverence for her, saying his photographs of her was the most rewarding of all his work. Also, that she was the most completely fulfilled person that he had ever known. When Time magazine published his work in the December 3, 1951 issue, donations poured in from readers. More than $20,000 in unsolicited donations was raised, allowing Callen to build the Maude Callen Clinic in Pineville, which she operated until her retirement in 1971. After retiring, she convinced the county to run a senior citizen nutrition program out of the clinic. Maude Callen, at the age of 85, voluntarily oversaw and managed the program, which delivered food to seniors 5 days a week, also providing transportation for those who needed it. She herself delivered 50 meals a week personally to seniors mostly younger than her. She is quoted as having said, on turning down an invitation from President Ronald Reagan to the White House, "You can't call me up and ask me to be somewhere. I got to do my job." In her great service, it is said that she delivered more than 800 babies and trained 400 midwives. She died at her home in Pineville on January 25, 1990, and was buried in White Cemetery near St. Stephen. Maude's most famous quote is, "Let me live in my house by the side of the road and be a friend to man." And she definitely was a friend to so many. A great and remarkable mother, a counselor and comforter to the hopeless, who dedicated her life to her people. Full of compassion, an angel in twilight. This is the story of Maude Callen.